Hello guys, Toast here, and in today's video I'm going to be reacting to the newly released Banlist. It was basically released less than 10 minutes ago. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So first things first, Moon of the Closed Heaven, very good change. Although the current meta does not have like a lot of Fiendsmith, but based on like the card was never a healthy card for the format. Any two monsters being able to go into Fiendsmith combo was the issue from the get-go of the deck. Now, although it does limit like future Light Fiend design, extra deck wise, like this change makes the most sense right now. So I like this change. Splash Mage to 0. I honestly don't understand this a lot, but this does hurt Malice a lot. This change makes it so that Malice cannot easily extend once you hit their first play. So if they go, for example, for a Gold Sarcophagus or a field spell into Dormouse and you hit the Dormouse, it's actually very hard for them to extend. So like March Hare does no longer extends from that position where normally it would, right? So I like that change. That being said, the deck, I'm assuming that they are going to hit like the other decks a lot. And if so, then it makes sense to also hit Malice, even though Malice isn't seeing that much play, but it's such a strong deck that I like the pre-hit. King of the Feral Imps, beautiful change, long overdue as well. It makes it so that Ryziel no longer can bridge into Mitsurugi on its own. So now if they want to go into the Mitsurugi engine, they have to hard draw the Mitsurugi engine, which makes it a lot less oppressive. And although before, like more than a week ago, I thought that the Mitsurugi Ryziel deck was not like that oppressive, I'm starting to like come around. The deck is still very strong now that Droll is phasing out of the format, and it's a very FGK sort of deck, and those decks are not healthy for the format in my opinion. And although the format was a format that I actually enjoyed playing, I am glad to see changes like this. So far, I am not against any change. And Paradise Smasher, get this card out of here. Limited. Oh my, look at this long list. Okay, first things first. X Ryziel. That hits consistency, and X is the strongest starter for Ryziel. So hitting that surely hurts Ryziel consistency. So that's a step in the right direction. It doesn't kill the deck per se, like hitting Dual Drive to 0 or hitting Detonator to 0, but it just like changes how often they get to X. They will just probably just switch it off for like 7th Ascension or like more copies or 7th Tachyon. So I don't think it would hurt that much, but it will still hurt nonetheless. Because now you only have one X in rotation, and you can't get X for the follow-up. Especially with Eclipse Twins. Dormouse to 1. That, coupled with the other hit of Black Mage, this hurts the deck a lot. Especially knowing that the deck already had like issues of consistency. So based on that, I would say that this is probably a killing blow for Malice. I don't think the deck is going to be that strong. I know the last Banlist, people thought the Malice would die. I personally didn't. I knew that the deck would like still be strong, even though they hit the cards too. But this limit to Dormouse, and most importantly, the Forbidden Splash Mage, I think is going to put a nail in the coffin for Malice. Razdan to 1. So I know I've always complained the Razdan is not in my hand. Well, they made sure to end my complaining. Razdan is never going to be in my hand at this point, and this hurts the deck more than people think it will. Like, I don't think the deck is going to be a top meta contender with Raisin at 1. Obviously, Holy Sue is the strongest card in the deck, but how often you get to Holy Sue is not that often. And now with Raisin at 1, your turn 1 is extremely weak, so you have to open your Stake Your Soul. So it's really, really weird. I think this hurts the deck's consistency a lot. Fiendsmith Lacrima. I mean, makes sense. New time rules change. Getting burned no longer feels bad. The card, especially now with Moon of the Closed Heaven hit, this is a fine change. It's not going to affect the meta though. Linkuriboh. Makes sense as well. This deck is dead. And also Snake Eyes is dead. I've never thought that this card was the problem. So when it got hit, the problem was the Borreload Savage, in my opinion, and not the Linkuriboh. But it's good to see this card back. Summon Sorceress to 1 makes sense. The card got routed. I don't know how often the card will see play now, but it's a good change. Like, it was an expected change. Everyone knew the card would get limited. Herald of the Arclight 2-1. This does not change much. People were siding out the second Herald. Some people will not even play in it. It will just affect the deck ceiling slightly, like just a tiny bit, but it's not gonna do much. Zodiac Guidance to 1, long overdue. This card is not as strong as people give it credit for. Should have been unbanned, as well as the Meow Meow Moo, which I hope to see either in the limited list or the unlimited list. That card needs to come back. That card is not that strong right now. Inclusion. This makes sense. This makes sense because if you're hitting every other deck, but you don't want to hit the K9 engine, since the K9 engine is new, makes no sense to hit it. And you hit so far the decks that have been hit are Malice, Ryzeal, and Vanquish Soul. Then it makes sense to pre-hit Crystron because Crystron is one of the strongest decks right now, along with them, like Crystron K9. So this hits the deck's consistency, and it's a welcome change. Since if you're gonna like hit every deck, you should hit every deck. So I'm hoping to see more hits to Yummy, because Herald of the Arclight 2-1 makes no sense as a hit. Otherwise, Yummy will just like eat the format, especially post dude. Oh, and there it is. Obedience School 2-1. This is a really trash change. I will say it right now, this is terrible. This should be a card that is going to 0. This should not be a limit. Now you're just gonna feel sacked if they open Obedience School. It is good in one sense, where if you Ash Obedience School or Sub Obedience School, you have 0% chance of them going for Thrust Obedience School, and you also have a 0% chance of them like hard drawing another Obedience School, since it's a soft once per turn. However, it's a card that shouldn't exist. I think that card should just go to 0 and stay there. It's unbelievably hard to play against. It's the strongest starter they have. And if they have Obedience School and you do not have Ash, you are basically losing that game unless you open extremely good. So I think it should have been a Forbidden card, but a limit is a step in the right direction. Hopefully by next list, that card is gone. Wow. Stake your soul to 1. Raisin to 1 and stake your soul to 1. The deck is dead. I am not going to be playing the deck going forward unless like some mad scientist out there like fixes the deck, makes it consistent. The deck already had consistency issues. I've been bricking with the deck a lot, and now that we have lost 4 of our starters, 2 Rosin, 2 Stake Your Soul, like I'm gonna rely on Mad Loves now. Yeah, the deck. I don't think the deck is gonna live through that. We're gonna see like a shake up in the format for sure. Solemn Judgment to 1. Like they just needed to like make this like a full list, right? Like they just wanted the full list, so they decided to add whatever here. I don't understand that. I think the card is not that. It wasn't even like good enough to be put in most side decks. Like some people played it, other people just played Thrust for like Thrust targets, like mutually favored, etc. It's a whatever change, but it is like in a healthier way kind of change, because now you're no longer gonna have like your cards judgmented, so that's fine. Branded Fusion to 2. I guess they're backing out of the branded hate. Branded is gonna be slightly more consistent. I don't think the branded fusion going from 1 to 2 is gonna be that big of a change to like put branded back on the map. People are still gonna play branded, still gonna be a good deck, but I don't think it's gonna be like a tier 2 plus or like tier 1.5 deck. I don't think it's gonna be that good. And lots of limits. Glow Up Bolt. I mean, once per duel effect makes sense. It's just for synchro deck. I don't think the change is that strong. I don't even remember if the card was at 1 or at 0, mind you. So I don't know how to feel about this, because I've just never seen the card before, like lately. If it was at 0, maybe some people will play it in like melee decks, maybe tier. But other than that, I don't think this card is gonna see that much play. Masterpiece, sure, literally whatever. Like the True Draco players can like rejoice for a bit, but who cares? Morphin Jar doesn't matter. It does not matter. Ash and Poplar also do not matter. The deck's issue right now is lacking OSS. They can't bridge into anything anymore. They can't bridge into Fire King. They can't bridge into Rescue Ace. If OSS was back to 1 and these were unlimited, I would say that the deck would make a comeback. because of how strong the engine is. But now that Moon of the Closed Heaven is gone, I don't think the deck is that strong. I don't think it's gonna see play at all, honestly. But I'm welcome to being proven wrong. Draconic Diagram to 3 does not matter. Like, these cards can be at 5, and I don't think I will care, honestly. Lightning Storm to 3, sure. Welcome change. It going to 2 never made sense to me. So it going to 3 just makes sense. That's about the Zodiac Barrage. So we have Dryden back to 1 and Barrage back to 3. Are we gonna see some Zeus action? Probably not. But again, I might be wrong. So my thoughts on the Banlist, I honestly really like it. It's gonna change up the meta. The meta itself was already like fun, in my opinion. But the unfun cards are all being hit, right? Like Paradise Smasher, no one likes to get Paradise Smasher. Gone. King of the Feral Imps, you stop their bodies and they just like have extenders and they go into Mitsurugi engine. Whereas like normally, if you stop their plays and they just make like a Ryziel board, you didn't really care that much about the Ryziel board, especially since they play the mini engine only. So now like Ryziel and Mitsurugi don't work that well together. You can still like go from Mitsurugi to Ryziel using the Xyz 8 as Tachyon, but you can no longer go from Ryziel to Mitsurugi, which I think is a very, 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 very good change. Splash Mage hits Malice, so Malice is a deck that is now going to be dead, in my opinion, especially with Dormasu 1. However, maybe someone will come up with a way to make it playable. It's just without access to the Link 1 guy, that being banned, and now Splash Mage is being banned, the deck is extremely fragile. So it's a very welcome change as well. Overall, I really like the ban list. It hit every single deck. I still think Yummy is going to emerge from this ban list as the strongest deck because every other deck got hit. So that will also make it so that Dracotail will see more play because Dracotail has a decent matchup into Yummy. And since Dracotail's worst matchup is Vanquish Soul K9, and Vanquish Soul K9 got killed, we're going to see maybe more Dracotail. So the meta is surely going to shake up, and I'm excited to see what it will bring. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.